Hey y'all. So I got a question. Do y'all do y'all ever feel something in your spirit, in your gut, in your heart, in your mind? Do you just feel something and it ain't got nothing to do? I was about to cuss. It ain't got nothing to do with where you are right now. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. But do y'all ever, like, let me try to explain it. I was sitting here, I was watching some videos on Instagram, strolling through, ain't got nothing else to do. Or letting it play anyway, and I seen some colors, right? This lady was standing and she was messing with sunflowers and something else, and was something about fall. But just seeing the orange and the yellow color tones and the green, it was just like a whole, I don't even know, like, just the whole energy surged through my body. Like, you're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I felt like. You're there. It's done. Like, and I want to cry, right? I wanted to cry. I be crying all the time, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know. I be crying all the time. And it's not tears of sadness or pain or pity or whatever. Like, these are clarity, right? It's clarity. It's understanding. It's manifesting. It's alignment. It's all these great things that has been in the work for years. A lot of times, let me jump into it. A lot of times what happens is we've been planning and we've been doing things for years of our lives, and even though you put it down or you put it to the side, it doesn't mean that it's over. Sometimes you go on a detour. Sometimes you have certain experiences to build up other aspects of yourself, right? So I think I've been on here before where I've taught you guys and I've told you guys how, and maybe not, it don't matter, but how everything I've done up until this point has prepared me for the point that I'm at. So let me repeat that. Everything that I've done up until this point has prepared me for the point that I am at. And I feel like that's the same thing for you. And if it's not, it's not. But if you believe it, then take it and claim it and believe it. Sit in it. That everything that you have done up until this very point, this very moment that you're watching this video, that every single thing has prepared you for the moment that you are currently in. And I say that because I remember when I was in preschool, and I told the preschool teacher, she asked me what I want to be, well, not the teacher, but the owner of the daycare center, because the teacher didn't like me, and that's her business. I don't even remember what she looked like, but the owner, I remember her, and I remember she saying, it was Jesus Cares Daycare. So if y'all see this and y'all know who she is, tag her, because I remember her face, and I feel like I see her every so often, like every 5 years or so. I feel like I've seen her. If she's passed on, God rest her soul, I don't know, because I don't keep up with people. But I remember her taking me into her office, and I remember we had a conversation, and she asked me, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I looked around, and I said, well, I want to be like you. I want to own my own school. I want to own my own daycare, whatever else. And I let that go. Like, I was a child. Who remembers, half of the stuff that you say and do as a child? But, a lot of times we go through trauma and traumatic situations and incidents, and those things kind of hide, those things affect the brain. The brain is ultimately, at the end of the day, trying to protect us. So a lot of that stuff disappears. And I remember, again, I think I was in second grade, Miss Sparkman's class or something like that. It was another black lady, and the owner was a black lady, but it was another black lady who was my second grade teacher. And I remember being in the classroom, and somebody asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be happy. And I remember one of the other people who were in there helping out with that classroom, they were like, well, that's not a job, that's not a career, that's not blah, blah, blah. And I said, you asked me what I want to be. You didn't ask, you didn't say I had to choose from whatever it is that you're saying. You asked me what did I want to be, and I'm telling you. So, at this point, and I know now, I've always been this way. When people go to telling me something that ain't got to do with me and what I just said, and they trying to negatively impact me, a lot of times I just turn it off. I probably did still learn that skill from my mama, but I just turn it off. I don't hear you. I go into discipline mode. Lights on, lights off. Like, for real. So I also remember that, you know what I'm saying? And so, of course, I remember always being in middle school, in elementary and middle school and high school, helping teachers prepare stuff. I remember my probably had to be like 9th, 10th grade year. I was like 14, working doing volunteer services at this church and helping them to create their curriculum for their school. um, you know 14 and 15, I did it for like almost 2 years, helping create it, putting the summer school together, running the office when they weren't there. They were very surprised that, oh, like, you really can run this office alone. And I'm like, yeah, look, yeah. Like, I've been preparing for so long to do this. And I remember my dad telling me, one of the ladies, Kathy, it was the white lady he dated. I love Miss Kathy. She was a administrative assistant. She was a secretary. And I remember, him saying, well, these secretaries make so much money. This is when he worked at Disney World. These secretaries make so much money and da da da. And I remember saying, okay, well, I want to be a secretary when I grow up. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to go to college because everybody's telling me I should go to college. Plus, I love being in school. My whole thing was like, I've been in school for, I don't know what the number was, like 15 years or something. I don't know. But I was like, I've been in school for 15 to 18 years, and I'm going to be in school 15 to 18 more after I graduate. I don't know why I think it was 12, because, 12, but I counted in, preschool, which I got kicked out of preschool, side note. Because I told y'all the lady ain't like me, and my parents was not about that life. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So I remember saying, ultimately, I've been in school for almost 15 years plus, right? Because I got preschool, got the K through 12, then of course going to college for 4 years. Like, my goal when I was graduating was like, okay, I've been in school for 12 years, I'm going to be in school for 12 more. So of course I go to college, do all these things. And in between that, I got a job as an administrative assistant. And I remember sitting there after I graduated with this job and saying, this can't be it. Like, I feel so stuck in this mundane, but at the same time, I've accomplished everything I've set out to accomplish. And I remember, of course, like I said, not remembering the whole thing. Like, I still kind of wanted to be a teacher, and I kept looking at the testing and all this other stuff, and I was like, I don't really know if I really want to be responsible for these little lives. Like, that's what I thought. I don't know if I want to be responsible for these little lives, because anything that I do can either impact or impede them. And I don't want to be in a place where I impede anyone. I want people to love education as much as I love it. I want the kids to love learning as much as I love learning. And so, of course, I kept pushing it to the side. I did different pull in, pull out programs, worked with different companies to go into the school system to help kids. But I always kept trying to figure out, how can I affect these children without being a teacher? Because at the end of the day, I don't know if that's really what I want. Mind you, still was thinking about owning my own daycare, still, all these things were still there, but it wasn't like in the forefront. It wasn't high on my priority list. So needless to say, a few years later, or even before that, I used to be a volunteer coordinator. So I would put together events and different things that would help impact kids who are from low income, low impoverished neighborhoods, help them and their families so that they can get funding, get food, get books, whatever it is that they needed. I used to create these types of events to help fund certain projects. So these were things that I did. I never was too far away from what I really wanted. At the end of the day, I just did it in different seals, right? And then as I was doing that, I was taking classes on. I took a lot of social work classes. I took classes on events, how to start and manage events. Event management. I took When I tell you I took so many classes, right? All of these things, I'm saying all of this is because everything I've done from the time that I was a small child up until now. Remember, I said preschool, that's 3, 4 years old. From the time I was 3 or 4 years old up until now has prepared me for just this moment. Even though I may have, stepped back and not been so much in the forefront of what it is that I want to do, at the end of the day, Right now, I teach at a school. Right now, I'm opening up my own program for adults because a lot of things that are being missed as far as social emotional issues and concerns are being missed at this lower level. And we need to reiterate these things. It's certain things of emotional intelligence, certain things, mental fortitude that we just aren't we're not cultivating at these younger ages, and we're not cultivating as adults. Not all adults are grown. You have the age there, but that mental aspect to really think and maneuver and plan and structure and strategize your life the way that you want it, sometimes that's not there. And so, even though I, like I said, I took some steps back to not be at the forefront and to be average or mediocre, and you can say whatever you want to say about it. That was my goal. My goal was not to show up like that, right? To be present, but not to show up. And so, as I've taken this last year to 2 years and I've started to shift myself, I've started to realign and not just be present, but to show up in full effect. And I'm getting out of my own way. I've noticed that all these things have been working together for my greater good, for me to be successful, for me to show up not only for myself, but myself number one, right? To show up for myself number one, but to also make sure that when I do show up for myself, that I'm able to show up for others. And so, as I was saying, all these things, no matter what it has been, has all led up to me being the greater version of myself. To me, every single step of the way has been to me to get to this place that I am now. And like I started off saying, having this feeling that it's something greater that is coming. Sorry. I feel it. It's something greater that is coming. It's something more that I have to give. It's some things that I am releasing and taking off and becoming more aligned so that I can show up for myself at 100% because I haven't seen 100% for me. So just imagine just that feeling of knowing that it's there. Sorry, y'all. Just knowing that it's there, knowing that I'm so close to it, knowing that I can't even say that I'm close to it, that it's here, knowing that it is happening now is amazing. So what I want to say is sometimes don't stop. That's it. Don't stop. Keep putting in action. Whatever it is that you want it, know it with full authority within you because it is coming. You can feel it. Get to the point where you can use all your senses because I feel it. I taste it. I see it. I'm in it. And y'all, you will too. Soon, very soon. So I love y'all. Let me get started my day. Let me get myself together because I got to go on here. All right. I love y'all. Have a great day.